Hey there, and welcome to the month 2 highlight of Goblin's Greed. This month was a big month in my opinion, as it solidified most, if not all, of the core game mechanics, so let's not waste any time and let's get into it. I'm using Unreal Engine's gameplay ability system, and this comes with the ability to provide attribute values for things like health, mana, stamina, or anything your system needs. This takes the form of a data table, and here you'll see I have values for the aforementioned attributes as well as max values for them. And if we play in the editor, since we provided this data table to the ability system, we can open the debug window and see that the system is tracking these numbers. And I've set up a debug key for us to take damage so you can see that these values change. One issue is that, as far as I know, gas doesn't innately clamp these values between the min and max value that you stated, which I do find odd, but maybe someone knows a legit reason for this. But to handle this, there are some overrides you can use to clamp these values. And after getting those set up, I created an attribute manager component, and it does exactly that. To avoid bloating the player blueprint, I created this to monitor all of the attribute values on the server, and it will handle the UI as well. One of the more intricate systems this month was definitely the inventory system. Inventory systems are notoriously tricky and complex. Now, there's nothing innately special about mine, so I'll try not to yap too long about it, but basically how it works is when you begin play, it reads a max slots value and allocates that many empty array slots. The reason I'm preloading empty slots and not simply dynamically adding slots when you add items is to allow the fact that when you drop items from your inventory, it prevents your current items from shifting over because of this. I suppose one thing worth pointing out is that the inventory simply manages references to items. I wanted to avoid a bunch of overhead that can come when spawning and deleting items. One of the key mechanics is selling loot to generate gold and meet the current goal. To do this, you need a merchant to buy and sell things from. So at the moment, that's exactly what this little guy does. One unique feature of my merchant is that he will have a rotating deal that will offer the players bonus gold. If I open up the data table I use to store the shop items and enable the diamond to be deal of the day, and set its multiplier to 2, you'll see that when I sell a diamond, I get 200 gold instead of 100. I do have this cycling deal UI, but I'm currently working on connecting the two as the UI is pretty rudimentary in general. To control the cycle of the game, I am utilizing a game manager class. It uses a handful of variables that let me dictate how long I want a day to be by setting the minutes per day variable, which then internally sets the seconds per day. I then divide delta time by seconds per day so that I can keep the progress of the current day between 0 and 1, which is then used to dictate certain events, like a new day or to check if the players have run out of time, which then grabs all the connected players from the game state and checks their accumulated gold, which then fires win or lose events. I originally sought out to do what's called true first person, which is where the player's perspective is first person, but there's a full body mesh for the other players to view. When trying to get animations looking right, I very quickly ran into headaches with trying to make it look right. So I made the decision to abandon this approach and use separate meshes for the two different viewing angles. One is just a set of arms for the player's perspective, and another is a full body mesh to be viewed by other players. Now, this does come with additional development challenges, as it's twice the amount of animations and stuff to keep track of, but I do think this approach is more common in games than my former approach. The biggest benefit is that it lets me fine-tune exactly what every player sees individually. Now, this one is an ongoing objective, but this is the month that I fully redid the stone meshes I had thrown together to get things going. The poly count on my old models was insane, and my new ones are much more performant, and I'm much more comfortable with the process to be banking more. Some honorable mentions that I didn't think warranted a whole section are no pop-in when swapping weapons, weapon hit scans, and lastly, the gelatinous cube absorbing items and spewing all the items on death. That covers month 2. I tried a different approach to this recap video than last time, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for daily updates, catch me live at 9 AM CST, and I will see you all later.